Instead, we have the opportunity to make a habit of empathy, to recognize ourselves in each other.
Being a politician, especially if you're working with a lot of people, it hones your empathy skills. And I think that, for instance, I'm pretty well known for knocking door to door, talking to people in every neighborhood, tough neighborhoods, middle-class neighborhoods, wealthy neighborhoods. And when you go door to door, or when you work with a wide variety of people, it gives you an opportunity to stand in their shoes, to get some sense of different people's feelings and different people's worlds. I have to say, a lot of things you may think that you intellectually understand. I've been representing Oakland for 20 years. I have been known for walking my district, originally in central Oakland, from hills to flatlands. This time, running for mayor, I had to walk in neighborhoods that I thought I knew, and neighborhoods I worked in when I was younger at West Oakland and East Oakland. I've worked in the schools. I've helped save libraries in these neighborhoods. But particularly because I think of the recession, I got a lot more chance to talk to young people who are just hanging out on the streets. And it was, as I became more recognizable to them, more of them came up and talked to me. And it gave me a better sense, I think, a better texture of the city. And I probably am somebody who already knows the city better than most. A lot of people in a city like Oakland never go outside their own neighborhood. Some people in Montclair don't even go downtown. A lot of kids in East Oakland have never been up to the Redwood Forest. But campaigning and going door to door and talking to people and asking them what their hopes for the city is, what they want the next mayor to do, it really struck me as how much the answers were the same. From neighborhood to neighborhood, group to group, race to race, language group from language group. I speak a little Chinese, a little Spanish, and a little English most days. And being able to see and feel how people feel, what kind of hopes they have for the city, I think develops your empathy skills. And so a lot of people are cynical about politicians, but I think very few other paths put you in contact with such a wide variety of people. And if you're if you listen with an open heart, I think you can learn a lot. And I think, I tell my daughter that I think being a politician probably made me a better person, because I've had to think a lot more about other people. I've had to stand literally in their shoes and see the world through their eyes. And if you go into politics and you're willing to do that, I think you develop empathy and you develop yourself as a human being.
Oh, that's great. How about building a culture of empathy, like in Oakland now? What can we do to create a culture that actually supports a culture of empathy, so there's more empathy within the whole society?
Well, I know this is your issue. I would say that for a lot of young people, if they don't have hope or any hope for themselves, they're not going to have empathy for other people. So I think it depends on who you're talking about. For a lot of our kids, they've been brutalized, have not been loved, have not been cared for. So I think you have to get it's pretty scary. I think that's why there's so much violence. If no one's shown them love, they don't value their own life, then they're not going to value other people's lives.
So we have to start a chain of caring for showing love and caring.
Some of these kids are just going to have some very basic things like a safe place to live and regular food to eat, and a situation where they're not brutalized.
How about like restorative justice? I know there's some restorative justice work being done in Oakland, and that's kind of at the basis of restorative justice is empathy, it seems to me.
Again, and a lot of our youth, our major Y programs are trying to do some projects there, and we'll see. With a lot of those programs are relatively new, and I think for them to work with young people, the young people have to be involved themselves. So some of the youth court programs, I think, are doing that. Some of our major Y programs with juvenile hall and diversion programs are doing that. We'll see.
I'm asking people about empathy, kind of what empathy means and how it relates to what's going on here. Do you have any thoughts about that? Like,
Well, I wish that people would have empathy on both sides. I wish that people would not throw bottles at the police, right, because it almost hit me. And I wish the police would calm down.
So you're kind of putting yourself in between to kind of diffuse, or I don't know what.
I don't know. I think we're just being a good community monitors here.
And so what can we do to create a culture of empathy, create more empathy? And
I hope that we use the Oscar Grant opportunity as a chance to talk about what's happening with young people in the city, and particularly young men. Unemployment for African American men now is 28%. A lot of our kids don't have jobs. A lot of them haven't finished high school. We need to work and give every kid in the city hope.
See the world through other people's eyes. Now, empathy is a quality of character that can change the world.